Time for us to be happy. Time for us to be glad. Time for us to be merry. Jesus Christ was born. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. People, it's Christmas. Jeff, pass it black kid.
Just before we cross over to the evening news, I want to say good evening to the wonderful folks at Caribbean Alliance, and we say a very quick touch with the good folks at La Falaise.
La Falaise Medical Laboratory, my preferred choice for professional and confidential medical laboratory services. La Falaise provides results for all medical tests. If it can't be done there, they will facilitate it through their international partners. Their main office in Roseau is open from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mondays to Fridays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Home visits and emergency services are also available. Call 448-0100, WhatsApp 276-5213 or visit any of their other locations. Picard in Portsmouth, Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Marigot, Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Or Grand Bay, every first and third Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. La Falaise Medical Laboratory, my choice, your choice, our choice.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening and welcome to the DBS Evening News. In the headlines, Electoral Office announces rotation in mobile kits island-wide to facilitate the confirmation process in the 21 constituencies. In news from the region, Philip J. Pierce sworn in as St. Lucia's Prime Minister, and internationally, the U.S. panel votes to end recommending hepatitis B vaccine for all newborns. These are the headlines. I'm your presenter, Alian Christopher. The details of the news when we return.
This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Chief Elections Officer Anthea Joseph says the Electoral Commission is taking steps to ensure that individuals who are unable to visit the confirmation centers are accommodated. Joseph says to assist with the process, the Commission will provide mobile kits at confirmation centers across the 21 constituencies on Wednesdays.
We have catered for them as it pertains to confirmation. We have mobile kits. We have 5 mobile kits at the office, which we will rotate around the 21 constituencies, and we will be able to set up for them on a Wednesday. Why Wednesday? Because on Wednesdays, the confirmation offices are closed, so their process at home. Now, what we are asking that the families ensure that they have their IDs. They must have either a passport or a social security card or a driver's license that is valid. And they must be dressed properly in order to take a photo, as we are required to take a photo for their ID cards. So we are asking that they are prepared when we come to the homes to do the confirmation process.
And that's Chief Elections Officer Anthea Joseph. Joseph encourages individuals who wish to be facilitated via the mobile kits to contact the office.
So all you need to do is register your name at the electoral office. You can call our hotline 617-9595, or you can call 266-3336 or 266-3186, and you will register the name of the person and the community where they are and the polling district where they normally vote. However, if you don't remember the polling district, we will find it. Once we have the name of the person and their community, and you leave a contact number so we can contact you to let you know when we will be coming to your area. So we want to sensitize the public on that. We want persons to begin to take advantage of the mobile kits.
Chief Elections Officer Anthea Joseph. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says Dominica remains ready to pursue a joint venture with its French neighbors, Guadeloupe and Martinique, for the sale of geothermal energy. According to the Prime Minister, earlier conversations on the proposed partnership did not advance as far as anticipated. However, he noted that the plan has not been abandoned and confirmed that the proposal has since been presented to the European Union, signaling Dominica's continued interest in exploring external partnerships to support the country's geothermal ambitions.
On the question of export, obviously, studies have shown that we have the capacity to export. We've had numerous engagements with the French authorities, the French Republic, and also companies in the French Republic, and also our brothers and sisters in Martinique. But events in the French Republic did not materialize to the extent that we had discussed and we had advanced. But it is something that we have put before the European Union. We have put before the French Republic to say, look, if you want serious investment, we're not asking for any aid, we're not asking for any grants. If you want a serious joint venture investment between Dominica and the French Republic, or Dominica and the European Union, because they themselves have a target of how much energy should be produced by renewable sources. Guadeloupe and Martinique, while Guadeloupe have the geothermal, they do not have to the extent that they can build such a plant. In Bouillante, in Guadeloupe, they have a very small plant there. But we have the capacity to supply them, and we're prepared to engage them in that, in a joint venture, where Dominica can sell energy to Guadeloupe and Martinique. So this is still open. Obviously, this will require significant investments, but we believe that these investments would see a positive return on if the European Union or the French Republic were to enter into a joint venture with the government of Dominica.
And that's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. 24-year-old Yannick Blanc of Grand Bay is awaiting sentencing from the court following his guilty plea to manslaughter of Jason Sorrendo of the same community. Ronaldo Luke Pascal reports.
During a recent court hearing, Blanc pleaded not guilty to murder but admitted guilt to the lesser charge of manslaughter. The plea was accepted by the prosecution, led by senior counsel Keith Scotland, assisted by State Attorney Kevin Julian. According to the facts of the case, on August 15, 2023, Blanc attended an event in Grand Bay where he was carrying an unlicensed firearm. Whilst heading home, he fired shots in the air near Sorrendo and a French national. Later, both men went to Blanc's yard and demanded the gun. A struggle followed, during which Blanc shot Sorrendo after realizing he was also armed with a firearm. Blanc fled the scene with both weapons and remained on the run for 1 day. He attempted to leave the country but later surrendered at the Portsmouth police station. During the hearing, his attorney pleaded for leniency, arguing that the incident was a case of self-defense. Justice Sujela McDowell is expected to hand down her sentence following the guilty plea to manslaughter.
Meantime, at the magistrate's court, a primary school teacher who was recently acquitted of causing death by dangerous driving was rearrested and charged with handling a stolen firearm.
John Elwin Christopher of Penville, who resides in Portsmouth, is accused of dishonestly receiving a Raven .25 pistol valued at EC $1,200, knowing or believing the firearm to be a stolen property. When the matter was called before the magistrate's court, Christopher was not required to enter a plea, as the offense is indictable and is expected to be tried at the High Court. The prosecution raised no objection to bail, which was granted in the sum of $20,000 with one surety. No bail conditions were attached, and he is scheduled to return to court on March 12, 2026, for the commencement of the preliminary inquiry. On November 24th, a 9-member jury found Christopher not guilty of causing the death of 68-year-old Joan Avis Robinson of Portersville, which occurred on August 1st, 2022 at Lago Portsmouth. Meanwhile, Magistrate Michael Loda has denied bail to a secondary school teacher charged with 14 firearm and ammunition-related offenses. The accused, Nathaniel Michael John of Paybush, who resides in Bonn, pleaded not guilty to possession of 5 firearms, over 100 rounds of ammunition, and 50 spent shells without being the holder of a firearm and ammunition license. Defense attorneys Wayne Norrie and Gina Abraham Thomas applied for bail, arguing that the firearms were low-caliber hunting weapons and it was not in the public's interest to deny bail to a secondary school teacher of over 17 years. However, Director of Public Prosecution Shuma Darampal strongly objected, citing public safety concerns and the recent rise in firearm violence. In his ruling, Magistrate Michael Loda pointed to the sharp rise in offenses involving firearms as a serious concern, weighing heavily against bail. He ruled that the accused had not met the legal requirement for bail to be granted in the public's interest and concluded that releasing John would pose a serious risk to public safety. The matter was adjourned to March 12, 2026 for the commencement of the trial. Ronaldo Luke Pascal reporting for DBS News.
And all thanks to Ronaldo Luke Pascal for that report. In other news, project manager of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, Dr. Jermaine Jewel Jean-Pierre, is urging the public to take cybersecurity threats more seriously as the project rolls out a nationwide cyber awareness campaign. Speaking to DBS News on the side of a cybersecurity workshop held at the Goodwill Parish Hall on Thursday, Dr. Jean-Pierre appealed to citizens to participate fully in upcoming workshops and pay close attention to guidance shared by cybersecurity teams.
Yes, so I just want to encourage all of us, that when you hear the call for these workshops or when you see individuals come to you to talk about cybersecurity, I want to urge everyone to take it seriously. It is no fun to work hard and to save your money and for someone to go with, $80,000 of it or $50,000 of it. And the simple tips, the simple cybersecurity awareness tips that we may take for granted, these things can actually be very helpful to us in the future. So we have launched a campaign, a cybersecurity awareness campaign. And as I said, we will be coming around to the different schools, to the different institutions to make people more aware. So look out for us and pay attention to your emails, your WhatsApps, and your text messages.
Project manager of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, Dr. Jermaine Jewel Jean-Pierre. Minister of State in the Ministry of Labour, Darren Pinard, has defended the government's decision to increase the minimum wage in Dominica, stating that, given the current economic climate, the government deemed it necessary to implement this increase. Pinard made these remarks on the DBS Talking Point program this morning. He emphasized that the new rates will have a positive impact on low-income earners in Dominica.
So, given the high activity in the environment and so on, we kind of fell behind slightly by 1 year because the rates were then supposed to be reviewed in 2024. However, the Labour Party is one that has its ears on the ground, and we are very attuned to what's going on with our people. We are very concerned about the well-being of our citizens. We have taken note of the high costs of goods, the high cost of groceries and everything else on the shelves right now, and that is primarily the result of imported inflation. We are a net import country, and so the prices that you see on the shelves primarily result from higher prices internationally, as it relates to both the cost of manufacturing and the actual cost of the goods, and then the cost of shipping and so on. Looking at the current economic conditions in terms of the high prices and so on, we knew we could not further delay the review of the minimum rates because it was an urgent need for us to look at every measure in terms of giving some relief, some assistance to our lower income people and in general. So the Prime Minister made the decision that now was the appropriate time. We would wait no longer to review the rate. And so the instructions or the announcement was made in the budget presentation in July, and we acted with haste to ensure that we had the rate implemented.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Labour, Darren Pinard. Labour Commissioner Kevin Packett says a compliance framework will be implemented to ensure employees receive the new minimum wage rates.
Putting a comprehensive compliance framework in place. So the first pillar is education. That is important, vital. And we will circulate where we intend to circulate new rates widely. Also meet with sectoral groups such as hotels, associations, the employers and the employees on a whole, retail operators, security firms, and provide a clear guidance on how to apply the new rates in their payroll system. That is one thing we intend to do. Also, the second pillar is practical support. So we will also develop a minimum wage compliance toolkit, which will include sample of payslips, model employment contracts, checklists that employers, can use to self-audit their operations. So the inspection and enforcement. So we are strengthening the labor inspectorate and inspections, where we will be both scheduled and complaint-driven, with particular attention to sectors that traditionally employ a large number of low-wage workers, such as in the hospitality, security, because those are the categories that are directly impacted by the new revised minimum wage, agriculture, and also the domestic service.
And that's Labour Commissioner Kevin Packett. The Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica, His Excellency Chu Maoming, has praised the progress and quality of work on the new Calibishi Primary School, a project funded under the China-Dominica Cooperation, describing the facilities as beautiful, comfortable, and of high quality during a site visit this week. Addressing officials, contractors, and members of the media, the ambassador said he was pleased to see that the project was advancing smoothly.
I'm very happy to see this project has been going on very smoothly. The progress is good, the quality is good. I'm very happy and extremely happy to see the ceiling is high. It's even higher than what I saw in China, in Chinese schools. And I'm really happy for those students because this school will be a very beautiful and comfortable place for them to study. Though it's comfortable, I strongly encourage students to study hard. Don't forget to study, because to learn is the most important thing for the students. You have the library, you have the computers room.
And that's Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica, His Excellency Chu Maoming. That's the national focus, regional and international developments comes up next.
This Christmas, Flow is making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS News.
Welcome back in news from the region. Philip J. has been sworn in as St. Lucia's Prime Minister. The ceremony is currently underway. Here now is Philip J. taking his oath of office.
I, Philip Joseph Pierre, do swear that I will faithfully and bear true allegiance to St. Lucia, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of St. Lucia, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of St. Lucia. So help me God.
Meantime, Alan Shastney has tendered his resignation as leader of the main opposition, St. Lucia United Workers Party, UWP, less than a week after he led the party to a second consecutive defeat in general elections on Monday. Shastney, a former prime minister, was the only candidate from the UWP to have won a seat in the country's general elections on December 1. And internationally, a U.S. panel of vaccine advisors has voted to end a long-standing recommendation for vaccinations against the hepatitis B virus HBV right after birth. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices voted 8-3 to back individual-based decision-making on whether to vaccinate babies born to mothers who have been tested negative for the liver infection. The U.S. has recommended vaccinating newborns against hepatitis B since 1991, and data suggests that since then, the shots have prevented an estimated 90,000 deaths. That's the news. I've been the presenter of the Evening News, Alian Christopher. Sports is up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's bowl off with cricket news as the West Indies, of course, they've continued or they've begun their run chase on day 5 as they're looking to push for an unlikely win in the first test match against New Zealand. Well, the West Indies, they're currently 239 for 4. Shea Hope is not out on 129. Justin Graves unbeaten on 69 as the two are leading a recovery there from the West Indies. The West Indies, however, they still need some 292 more runs for victory, and most likely the game plan should be to try to bat out the overs and secure at least a draw. So it's going to be a monumental task for the West Indies on the 5th and final day of this first test match. The West Indies are 239 for 4. Needing some 292 more runs for victory. And with Shea Hope unbeaten on 129, Justin Graves not out on 69. A recap of the scores so far: New Zealand 231 and 466 for 8 declared, and the West Indies 167 and 239 for 4. Well, let's continue with the sports this evening. Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shaloo says he will not relinquish his role as President of Cricket West Indies despite being named as St. Vincent and the Grenadines Minister of Tourism and Maritime Affairs. Well, there was widespread speculation that the 41-year-old Shaloo would have to step down from his position at CWI after securing victory in last Thursday's general elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. While speaking during an interview on iSports I-95 FM in Trinidad, Dr. Shaloo disclosed that he will see out the remainder of his 3-year term as Cricket West Indies president. Dr. Shaloo says the position of president of CWI is an executive role. It is a chair of a board, and there have been many instances across the region and even internationally where chairs have been members of parliament, and so this is not something new. He said he's confident that he can manage both roles. Dr. Shaloo also said that the decision to remain as Cricket West Indies president was made after discussing the matter with his directors as well as with officials from the sport's governing body, the International Cricket Council. In some more cricket news this evening, Noel Leo cracked a half-century of just 15 balls to power St. Lucia to a 5-wicket series-clinching win over Dominica as the two sides continued with their 23 and under 50-over series at the Botanic Gardens this afternoon. Well, the game was reduced to 20 overs aside due to rain. Dominica batted first and they got 149 for 9. Luvio Charles made 72. Jed Joseph got 19. Jaden Illibox, he picked up 4 for 35 for St. Lucia. The visitors replied for 153 for 5 in 16.3 overs to win the game by 5 wickets. Noah Leo smashed 57, getting his 50 of just 15 balls. Theo Edward added 48. Rosinio Fountain, he got 3 for 17 for Dominica. St. Lucia now has a 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. St. Lucia captain Noel Leo.
Yeah, I just went out and just be myself. The team needed me. As I said last night in the team meeting, just go out, back yourself, and the guys support me.
How satisfied are you with this overall team performance, though, beating Dominica twice?
Well, I'm fully satisfied, first of all, because beating Dominica in Dominica, that's very good for us. And then the guys back themselves, and I back them fully also.
Right, an opportunity now for a clean sweep. You know, what will be the discussions like with the guys, you know, to not let their guard down as you get set for that third and final game?
Well, we want a clean sweep because we want to show Dominica we come here not to have fun, but it's to enjoy and also bring the trophy back home.
And that's the St. Lucia captain, Noel Leo. Dominica captain Stefan Pascal says the conditions were tough.
Well, I called for a better performance to the bat. I felt that we had one, you know, in a shortened game as well. But kudos to Luvio, he played really well. But I felt he needed some more support, but he didn't really get that throughout the inning. I still feel that total was enough to defend. But you know, kudos to Noel Leo and the start that he gave the St. Lucian team. That was really well played on his part. And since then, we were always on the back foot. We were always playing catch up, and it just really took us away from the game. The conditions were really tough to field in. You know, the rain, you know, it being very muddy. I wouldn't fault the guys for what happened on the field because I feel it was more self-preservation than anything. But again, that's how cricket goes. It wasn't for us to win, but we look to come out in the last game.
I was just about to ask you that. Having lost the series now, how do you sort of regroup? You have just a day off to get prepared.
Well, I feel just to clamp down on certain areas. You know, we've played good cricket in patches, and we had to play a complete game. You know, even if a team gets off to a good start, we have to pull it back. Even if we get a good start and a couple of wickets fall, we have to pull it back as well and build up ownership. And I feel that we haven't been doing that in these past 2 games. So it's just to look to do that in this last game and look to come out victorious.
And that's Dominica's captain, Stefan Pascal. Well, St. Lucia, like we said, they're leading the series 2-0. The third match will be on Sunday, most likely at the Botanic Gardens, of course. Let's move to some football news now. A comprehensive win for the Castlebrook Secondary School as they crushed the Goodwill Secondary School this afternoon as the sports division's under-20 football competition continued at the Newtown Savannah. Castlebrook Secondary School took that game 9-0. Comprehensive win there for the Castlebrook Secondary School. The other matchup between the Dominica Grammar School and the Fairchild Secondary School, that game did not take place. Also, St. Mary's Academy and the Portsmouth Secondary, that game was also postponed. I can also tell you that the Convent High School, the defending secondary schools under 16 netball champions, they picked up a win this afternoon at the Portsmouth Hard Courts over the Portsmouth Secondary School B team. Well, CHS won that game 17-10. For the Convent High School, we had Micah Williams, with 8 from 18 attempts. Chloe Gregoire made 9 from 15 attempts. While for the Portsmouth Secondary School B team, Somaya Morand made 6 out of 20 attempts. In the other game, the Goodwill Secondary School, they defeated the Portsmouth Secondary School A team 22-14. For the Goodwill Secondary School, Cracia Pierre made 8 out of 14 attempts, and Marie Mortune 14 out of 20 attempts. While for the Portsmouth Secondary School A team, Geolokalai Benjamin made 7 from 11, and Jewel Benjamin made 6 out of 13. Let's go back to some football news as the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, says the 2026 World Cup is promising to be the biggest sporting event in history. The 2026 World Cup will be staged in the USA, Mexico, and Canada from the 11th of June 2026. The World Cup will feature a record 48 teams, Well, speaking at the official draw this afternoon, Infantino says FIFA is prepared to put on a major spectacle.
Of what will be the greatest FIFA World Cup ever. It's much more than just a sporting event. It's simply the greatest event that humanity, that mankind has ever seen and will ever see. We have three beautiful countries, Mexico, Canada, and the United States. We have 16 wonderful host cities. We have 48 excellent teams from 48 different countries around the world who will compete in 104 matches to become the one and only world champion. What an exciting summer from the 11th of June to the 19th of July that we will have here. This will be unique, this will be stellar, this will be spectacular because we'll have 7 million people in the stadiums. We will have 2, 3, 4 times more millions of people coming to the US, to Canada, to Mexico, just to feel the vibe of the World Cup. We'll have 6 billion people watching the World Cup from home, from all over the world.
And that's the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. The 48 teams will be split into 12 groups of 4. The defending champions, Argentina, have been placed in Group J, along with Jordan, Austria, and Algeria. Host countries, Mexico, will be in Group A, with Korea, Republic, South Africa, and the winner of the European Playoff D. Host Canada is also in Group B, with Switzerland, Qatar, and the winner of European Playoff A. And the other host, the United States, is in Group D, with Australia, Paraguay, and the winner of European Playoff C. Haiti, they're making their first appearance since 1974, and they will be in Group C with Brazil, Scotland, and Morocco. And the other CONCACAF nation, Curacao, will be making their first ever appearance. They will be in Group E. Let's go back to cricket news as Joshua Joseph will lead the national under-15 cricket team into battle as Dominica takes part in the Windward Islands under-15 cricket championships in Grenada starting this weekend. Well, Dominica finished runners-up in last year's tournament and they were winners in 2023. The national under-15 team features 6 players from the Castlebrew Secondary School. The full team is Joshua Joseph, the captain, Nian Davis, the vice-captain from the Northeast Comprehensive. From the Castlebrew Secondary, we have Jojuan Benjamin, Dylan John, Drente Ogis, Vince Daru, Omarion Bruni, and Dylan Joseph. And from the Pierre Charles Secondary School, Darren Ellick, with Derwin Lewis representing the Portsmouth Secondary School. St. Mary's Academy is being represented by Ryan Alfred. Tylon Theophil represents the Dominica Grammar School. Jeshuan Tyson, the Atkinson Primary School. And there's also Alex Armstrong, who has been selected. The national under-15 team is being coached by Ray Kazimi, and the manager is Thomas Kentish. The team left Ireland this morning. Very quickly, we can tell you a maiden test half-century for Australian opener Jake Weatherald, as the second Ashes test between Australia and England remains interestingly poised as we get set for day 3 of the day-night encounter. Let's recap the day 2 highlights. The Australians, they reached 378 for 6 at stumps. Jake Weatherall got 72, Manus Labuschagne 65, and Steve Smith 61. Bryden Cass, he has 3 for 13 so far for England. Earlier on in the day, England were bowled out for 334 with Joe Root getting 138 and Mitchell Stark taking 6 for 75. So the scores as we head into day 3, it's England 334, Australia 378 for 6. Australia, they're leading by 44 runs. Play resumes at midnight tonight. Also, quickly, we can tell you that Dominica's top track and field athletes will be recognized this weekend as the Dominica Athletics Association stages its annual prize-giving ceremony. The ceremony is being held under the theme Celebrating Excellence, Inspiring the Future. And of course, the award ceremony takes place tomorrow at the Public Service Building from 6:30 in the evening. And there will also be netball action on in the north with the 2025 Northern Netball Tournament. The 2-day tournament gets underway on Saturday at the new Portsmouth Hardcourts. And of course, exciting netball action for the young ladies. Before we go, let's quickly bring you up to date with the latest in the first test match between the West Indies and Australia. Remember, the West Indies are chasing over 500 runs for victory They're currently 251 for 4. Shea Hope is not out on 132. Justin Graves unbeaten on 78. And the West Indies, they need a further 280 runs for victory. Well, there's a lot of play left in